Howdy, guys.
Hello, everybody. I'm Michael Rambo from Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
Good to see
Mr.
you.
Ram
I'm hanging out observing.
Mr. Rambo is another coach in Brooklyn where Marco has moved to be a team leader. And basically, to explain what's happening here, Mr. Rambo is going to tell Marco if I suck or if I'm semi-decent. So all of you better give me a good review, all right? My job depends on it. Kind of.
Nobody can get
Man.
nobody can get bored and leave as long as I'm here.
Works for me. I hope you back me up.
No, I'm very excited to sit in on this. I'm starting as productivity coach for the first time, and I'm getting some really good opportunity to see a class and see how questions you guys are asking, because I'm going to be asked the same very shortly. So, and come to Brooklyn. Come to Brooklyn. Check us out. Come hang out in our office.
We'll rent a bus.
Yeah, definitely. I'm in my car, guys, so I'm gonna go back to no photo and no volume, no voice. Okay. Have a
Drive
good class.
safe, my friend.
I'll be here. I'll be here.
Drive safe.
All right, 6:05. So, the topic of today. Over the past few classes, I've been delving into lead generation. That's been going on in the in-person class as well as the Zoom class, hitting on what are our potential customers and clients thinking. What is the mindset? We all know where we are. We are in a shifting market. It's not only New York, it's not only Queens or Brooklyn, it doesn't matter. All over the states, things are changing, and as a matter of fact, all over the world. That is going to create a lot of questions. That is going to create a lot of uncomfortable feeling for different people in different positions. And you guys will be dealing with this, hopefully, because I mean, the idea is that you will be talking to as many people as humanly possible, trying to get business from them. So if you already are going to these conversations knowing or expecting to get certain types of questions, get certain types of objections, you will be able to handle them better. One of my favorite things that we have discussed so far, and because I like it, I'm going to decide to keep on talking about it, is looking at whoever is standing in front of you and counting the different opportunities that person represents. My favorite example, as always, was your standard tenant. How many opportunities does your standard tenant represent? And last time we went over it was about 14. For the multiple landlords you're going to meet, the multiple agents you're going to meet, the possibility to convert the tenant into a buyer, into an investor outside of New York, into getting possible seller leads from said landlords, so on and so on and so on. Today, we're going to touch something similar. Because the rates are going higher, they just went up again. Now the national average is a little bit over 7%. You can still get about 6.6, 6.5 if you get pre-approved today. One way or another, it's high in the minds of pretty much every single buyer that has been in the search of a new home for the last couple of months. Most people, myself included, are stuck in the, if I would have bought in January, February, I could have gotten under 4% or even under 3% rates. That's a big freaking difference. 3%, 7%. I mean, you do the math on your car's mortgage calculator, it's a lot of freaking money over 30 years, not for nothing. What can we as agents, as real estate professionals, as advisors and therapists do to lower the rate? What can we do to sell a home for a homeowner that we are hopefully representing as listing agents? What can we do to change their position within a competing market, competitive market, and put them on top while making them more money still and getting it moving faster? Same as what can we do for a buyer? I mean, listen, if your buyer was ready to pay, let's say, $3,000 a month with everything included, and now all of a sudden their $3,000 a month pre-approval is going up to $3,500 a month, and they're going to have to pay $3,700 a month to pay. That party will most likely have a big bottle of vodka and decide we're done. We're going to wait. We can't afford this. So before I shoot the answer or shoot what I think you can do, I'm going to ask a random person because I'm picking on you guys. What do you think we can do to change that? Victor, you're staring right at me. I don't know if it's by accident, so I'm going to ask you. What do you think we can do? Because you've been taking a lot of classes, a lot of ignites, a lot of different events. What do you think is a
Yes.
possibility we can do?
So you can do a few things. You can work on getting a discount program, the discount rate, to be able to pay up your, buy down the rate, and then be able to lock in a more competitive rate, I guess you could say. So that's one option. Another option would be to also, uh, you know, be able. There are so many different programs out there that homeowners can choose to buy to help them with these costs, both closing costs and also to help also save money on the interest rate on the back end of the loan. So there are so many different options that potential buyers can benefit from if they choose to employ them. Different strategies, different tactics for different people. It just depends. Every situation is different.
You know, Victor, thank you so much for the wonderful answer. It's spot on. As a matter of fact, I think you incentivized me to go buy a lottery ticket because I picked one and I got the right answer right on the bet. That doesn't happen often, but it's absolutely right. There are programs, there are different options that lenders offer. Most people still don't know about them. Most buyers will not know about it. Most sellers will not know about it. As a matter of fact, most agents will not be aware of it. Victor is taking a lot of different courses that are being offered. He's attending a lot of networking events. He's speaking to basically the same people we're giving you the opportunity to speak to. You know, from RCG to Homebridge, North Point, you name it. We have plenty of lenders to just basically hunt down and ask them questions. You all should be reaching out to any lender, whether we are providing them or not. Give them a call, introduce yourself, and ask them, what does your what does your company, what does your bank, what does your whatever offer to compete with the other banks and the other lenders, and what can you give us to help the buyers we're working with, Victor?
What I was gonna say that there's actually so I had took a seminar a couple weeks back with the NHS, which is the National Housing Services of Queens, and amongst that, some of the programs that were offered for first-time home buyers. But I actually found another one that is nationwide that has like all these discount programs, the down payment assistance and closing cost assistance. It's actually tomorrow. And that's something that you guys want to get information on. I can send you the link. They do it every month. But it's just good to know as agents, all these different programs are available because at the end of the day, that just gives you a bigger edge to be able to service your client as opposed to another realtor that may not have that information.
Victor, would you mind if you have that link anywhere nearby on your computer what you're using? Can you put it in the chat, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So let's expand on that. At face value, you have the assistance programs for down payment, you have the assistance programs for closing costs, and you can lower your rate by buying quote unquote points. A point is basically 1% of the mortgage value. You pay it at closing, it lowers your rate by basically 1%. What can we do with that all around? I mean, that's the obvious thing we can utilize is, hey, Mr. Buyer, you don't want a 6.5% rate? Let's buy 1 point or 2 points at closing and lower it. Okay. But how could we use that if we are representing a seller? I mean, this is helpful all around. This is one way to stand out because, again, I'm a broken record. I understand I am, but most agents don't know. Big secret. All it takes is reading, talking, and maybe watching 1 or 2 YouTube videos a week. It's amazing. That's your silver bullet. I told you the secret. You don't need me no more. What can we do to help the seller? One of the things that I was talking to one of my clients, they're struggling on selling their property. especially now with the rates, because they are dead set on selling their home for a value that's just not there anymore. And I got them full asking price with 50% down within the first 2 days of those things being live. Long story short, it's a divorce situation. One party agreed, the other party just disappeared. We did not sell it. Now they're back on track, but we are not able to get the same value. So I was talking to a few people, I was talking to a few lenders. This came to mind. See, maybe instead of doing a price drop, in this case, the price drop would have to be $50,000 in order to be back on the market as competitive listing. Why not maybe lower it by $10,000, $15,000, take 2 points and offer it to the buyer as an incentive. Hey, Mr. Buyer, like my house? Tell you what, I'm gonna do you solid. You give me $720,000. I'm going to give you 2% off of your rate. That $20,000 that you are trying to save on my home is basically nothing in the form of monthly payment. Where can we sign? Let's go. 1 month only, 1 week only, one open house only, get 2% off of your interest. Play with it. But you can use it for your sellers. The automatic response of most real estate agents is the house isn't selling, the market shifted, we're screwed, drop the price. Let's drop it, let's drop everything. No. No, 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 no. As long as the house can sell within the price it's listed at or within a reasonable price, don't undercut it if there's different things we can play with. One of the things, of course, is the point. The other thing, other than the price drop, is incentivizing the real estate industry. I like to give out 2% on all my listings. It doesn't matter if it's Queens, it doesn't matter if it's Long Island, it doesn't matter what it is. When I had a listing for $1.3 million, I give out 2%. When I had a listing for $1.4 million, I give out 2%. I like to give out 2%. The only thing is that I like to play with the 2%. So one way or another, I know I'm going to give it out. But before I put it on the MLS sheet saying the compensation is 2%, I put in a description for all of my friends and colleagues, 1.5% compensation. However, if you bring me a buyer within the, let's say, 30 days, you will get 0.5% bonus at closing towards your commission. In the event you're about to do a price break of $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, which that will be coming, in some places it's already here. Let's do a bit of a last stand attempt and just offer more compensation. I mean, Mr. Seller, we're about to do a price drop for $50,000. My total commission is $32,000. Can we add 1.5%, maybe even 2% for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and see if we can just drag every single agent, their mother's uncle here, because they will literally die trying to get 4% as a buyer's agent. It's unseen. It doesn't exist. And if I sell on my own, I'm still going to collect the additional fee. I am not going to charge you the additional money. But let's see what we can do to incentivize the buyers. We're giving them a discount. Incentivize the entirety of the real estate market in New York. And let's work with the banks to get you as much as we can while we can. And if none of it works, then yes, we do know that we need to do a price break and we need to be more flexible. But there's many different things we can do in the meantime. Does everything I'm spewing at you guys so far make sense? Is anybody not following? Going once. Going twice.
Yeah, a little bit more clarification on, I think you were talking about the interest rate, right?
Mhm.
You're going to entice the buyer that you're going to bring down 2% on the interest if they give you a certain amount. But how much is the point? How much are you spending to buy those points? Like,
Each point is 1% of the mortgage value. So let's say that you're working on a $500,000 home. 1 point without the down payment being included is $5,000. So you can play with that, right? You can explain to the seller that all they have to do is just assign $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to the buyer that's coming to lower their rate, to assist with their closing costs willingly. instead of doing a massive price drop. As a matter of fact, that price drop may not be as necessary because now remember, the caveat here is you got to make sure that the property will appraise. So in certain situations, there will be no option but to level back out to what the market values are. In some cases, however, we can play with the mortgage rate and we can play with the value of the house before going to the last result, which is dropping the price to what it needs to be or even lower. Does that answer your question?
Yes. So it definitely the price will still obviously be higher, right? Like you're still gonna get more than what you are spending to lower the percentage rate, right? To buy the points.
So
If the
I'm going to go ahead.
like if you're yeah, so the property of the value of the property is not gonna, it's gonna still be more than what you're going to pay for the points to go down, right? So what if the buyer already knows that and he'll say, oh no, it's okay, I'll buy down my own. I'll
Well,
buy my own points.
let's think about it. The buyer can buy his own points, which that means that buyer will be spending cash out of their pocket for each
Mm-hmm.
point. Or,
Okay.
technically speaking, the buyer is financing all of this. So the seller is getting the money from the buyer. That's all being financed. The seller gets the actual cash. But at the end of the day, the buyer does not have to come out cash out of pocket. It all gets added on to their overall financing, with the seller dropping a few $1,000s off of their overall value, their asking price, to return to the buyer at closing.
Okay.
So they are not paying it out of pocket at that point. So any buyer will say, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm just gonna buy out of pocket." That would be actually very unreasonable for them to do. It's not. I'm not saying that some people will not say that. There is no such thing as a surprise in this business, but it's definitely more incentivizing to offer it through the seller.
Okay. Okay, I understand now. Because it's still gonna come out of their pocket, and at the end it'll. Okay, I get it.
Good. I'm glad. Victor, you have your hand up?
Thanks.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a point on interest rates, and it's just some little fun facts for us to know as real estate agents. So, because for those of you who don't know me, I'm a nerd. I love to read, and I'm constantly I'm a big fan of history. So the more you know, the better off you are, right? So if you take the national average historical rate of mortgage rates in the United States from 1970 until 2000, until current day, so 52 years of statistical history, the average national average is 7 3/4. So technically right now we're still below that national average. Additionally, the last time we had a high inflationary period, which was in the late 70s to the 80s, interest rates went all the way up to 18%. So relative to that point in time when interest rates were that high, we're still in a good market right now. People are like, oh, I wish I would have gotten it when I was at 2%, 3%, 4%. But just to give everybody reference, the last time the interest rates were down that low to 3% was in 2008 during the financial crisis and during COVID. So in order for those rates to come back down to that extreme, something very drastic would have to happen in our economy in order for the government to take that much of a drastic measure.
Thank you, Victor. And Victor's absolutely on point with pretty much everything he said. It definitely helps to have somebody likes to read and know history to kind of chime in. I appreciate that.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So at what point during the transaction is that points given to the buyer? Is it closing day, or does the lender already know when they're doing the whole process?
So when you are working on the offers getting accepted, when you are discussing, depending on who you're working for, if you're working for the seller or the buyer. But basically, if this would come into play, it will get negotiated at the offer stage, the offering stages, get agreed upon. Once the seller and the buyer go into contract, it would be basically relayed to all the parties, the attorneys, as well as the lenders, to make sure that everybody understands what the process will be like, what the condition is, that there are points being allotted by the seller. and both technically being bought by the buyer through the seller towards the closing. That would all happen at the closing table, basically speaking.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. So these are lenders. It's a good reason for everybody to go and start calling all different lenders, find out from their perspective, find out from their expertise more on lowering the interest rate by purchasing points, find out what down payment assistance then there may be, closing cost assistance there may be, pick their brains. That should be part, as we discussed before, you guys should be reaching out to other businesses to create referral partnerships. This is a really, really good reason or a topic to have that phone call. Now, there are many other different industries and professions that pertain to real estate, such as lenders, title, contractors, movers, exterminators, so on and so on and so on. How do you guys think you can utilize the different trades and different professions to help you? Directly you. How would those conversations go? I'm gonna have to pick on someone.
For example, let's say a lender or a title person, you could go to them, ask a little bit about the services they provide, kind of build a relationship, and then just at the end, kind of sneak in there that, you know, you're a real estate agent and that you would like to refer people to them in the future, and if they will be able to refer you as well, and kind of, you know, give each other business basically. And also maybe for like exterminators and people that like fix problems in their homes, you could tell them, ask them questions, build a relationship, but also kind of include them in the booklet that you offer to like home buyers that work with you. So you have their number, you have their email. So if the home buyers need them, they could contact them and say, hey, I got it from this person. So you could kind of include them into your business.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, what I would add into that is go in immediately with you being a realtor, with you being Sarah Williams Liberty agent. Immediately go in with that. And for the referral business, that's the goal. You need business, you need as many passive lead generators for you as possible. But see, the question is that I ask of the different, it doesn't matter who they are, if they're lenders or attorneys or contractors, whoever they are, everybody asks me to give them business. Everybody asks me to let people know about 123 attorney or 523 exterminator. But the same way I keep on telling you guys that you're all different. You need to understand what your individual value is and how you stand out. That same question should be coming from you to Mr. Attorney, Mr. Lender, Mr. Exterminator. So, hey, Victor, Mr. Attorney, I'm calling all the attorneys my team has dealt with in the last month. Want to introduce myself, want to know if it's okay that I put you into my database, just in case I need an attorney for something specific that I have nobody else for. Would it be okay with you? Most likely you say, yeah, no problem. Great. But let me ask you, see, we are 52 agents. We have closed roughly 80 transactions in the last few months. There's a lot of attorneys. So I'm trying to find the attorneys that I know I can depend on and have a peace of mind when I refer them. So tell me more about you. Tell me more about your business. How do you run it? What can I expect from you when I have John Joe work with you? It may come across as rude in your ears, guys, and that's totally fine. You can word it however you want, but I am going to ask that question. And there's multiple reasons for that. Reason number one, if I'm a little too meek and like, hey, Vic, would it be okay if I add you to my database and refer you out? Yeah, of course. But I am meek. I am not hunting you down for more answers. I am not asking the questions that are most important. What can I expect? What do you give? to my clients. I'm not asking you to tell them right away, what can you give me? No, you work for your clients. Our needs come last. The client's needs come first. You start asking questions such as this, and you expand on them deeper and deeper and deeper and have a full-blown conversation where you get to evaluate how much of a value Victor's attorney practice has. They may actually start to take you more seriously as well. Because if you're doing so much homework and you're having a pretty damn deep conversation about who they are and how they work, just with them to put them into your database, odds are you're pretty damn. You do the same thing, if not more, when it comes down to the transaction. And attorneys specifically do not like agents that do not do their job, don't have their paperwork in order, don't have all of their files presented via email in any shape or form to the attorney at the moment the transaction is going to contract. So if they feel the same way about you as you want to feel about them, then you may have a conversation about the referral and it will come back to you as well. Because at the end of every conversation, you want to ask, by the way, before I go, do you know of anybody right now that you could refer to me? It doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter where it is, anywhere on planet Earth. Whether they're looking to rent, buy, sell, even if they're trying to or thinking about becoming real estate agents, can you think of somebody? Ask them. Even if you didn't give them business at this point, you are adding them into your database, and be truthful about it. Because if you're not, then don't be a douche. But if you do believe that this person is somebody that could be a good referral partner, good partner, period, in business, ask them for business. And at the ultimate end of it, ask about them. Even if they give you a referral or not, ask about them. By the way, do you invest? Do you buy? Do you have anything that I can help you with? Do you want more information on anything specific anywhere in the country? Let me know. I'm here to help, and I do not charge for consultations. I do not charge to send you a few links. Let me know what I can do to help you, because I know you're going to be doing everything you can to help me. Same as with the banks, however. Let's not miss the point that whether they're an attorney, whether they're a title company, or anybody else, they can offer something to your clients to assist with their sale or their purchase. It may be a discount. Why not? It may be with attorneys, the attorney may be aware of some programs that could assist them with a random thing around the house. Whether it be something to do with the mechanicals of the house, whether it be something to do with, again, we always discuss the financing, but with the closing costs of the house, whatever it is, ask questions. Just ask questions. Remember, none of us know anything. We wake up every morning knowing that we know nothing. First step to knowing everything. Learn every single day. Be open to learning. I will eventually get every single one of you into the boot camp created by Marco. All of these classes, all of these conversations we're having are leading up to that. Today's conversation is all about the business to business. I'm trying to give you all the reasons and all the material to talk to people within your business and have conversations about something concrete that will create more of an opportunity. Because if you have more value in your back pocket, who's going to be upset about it? Who's going to have trouble signing with you? If you go to a house to list it, and the seller asks you, how are you different than other 70 agents that came 70 minutes ago? You can just look them straight in the eye and say, well, listen, I mean, I don't know what the other 70 agents offered you. All I know is that I'm here to do the best job I can possibly do, get you the most money the market allows. And also I have a few tricks up the sleeve to show you how you can sell the house faster, show it for more money than my competitors will, and get the headache off of your shoulders. All I really need for you to do for me to be able to do that is just sign here. If you don't like me after 30 days, fire my ass. I don't care. I know that I'm going to do the best I can, and I know you'll be satisfied with our job. The more tricks you have, the more support you have, not from us as agents alone, but from everybody that participates in this industry, you will become a powerhouse. We are in a very, very difficult market. Just because we have seen times that the rates were higher, just because we have seen times where there were tons and tons of foreclosures and people are walking out of their homes, does not change the one fact. That was yesterday, today is today, and tomorrow is a different day. Whoever is looking to sell or buy or even rent today cares only about today. We need to be able to handle that. We need to be able to solve whatever we can solve before it becomes a problem. I do hope every single one of you is going to start calling businesses. So far, any questions? Going once, going twice.
Is there any mortgage companies that you can recommend besides RCG Mortgage? That's the only one I really know.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to put together a list of maybe 7 different lenders, maybe more, as well as attorneys and anybody else I can think of from or find in my database. I'm going to put it on Google Notes, on Google Keep, that is, excuse me. I'm going to share it with you guys. And you give them a call. You don't need to tell them that I gave you the number. Just tell them who you are, tell them where you work, and ask them if it's a good time to ask them a few questions. And you just go down the conversation.
Okay.
All right? Good. Anybody else has anything to add or ask? No. Okay. So now let's get into the second thing, third thing, as a matter of fact. More on lead generating when you are talking business to business. One of my favorite businesses is movers for us as real estate agents. Obviously, movers move stuff. That's great. I don't like moving stuff. It hurts my back. Nope, not doing it. But the point is, they have lists of people that they are moving, have moved, and the locations where they moved them and to from. That list is there. It remains there. What's stopping you from asking for that list? Nothing, quite literally. All you got to do is just, again, provide value. Hey, can I add you into my database and recommend you as the preferred mover of Abina real estate, whatever you want to call it. And by the by, the clients that you have moved in the last month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, would you happen to have their phone number or their or list of contact? They will say, yeah. Would you mind either sharing with me or every time you move somebody, provide them with my card, provide them with my flyer, provide them with my brochure, invest a couple cents into designing a brochure and printing it in the office. The hand delivers to the moving company. List what you offer, list who you are, list what you do, list what you can do. And remember, you are not only a local real estate agent. You work on planet Earth. Please remember that. Get passive lead generation through these businesses. Movers are very happy to get referrals, especially movers that are just kind of sort of starting up. Small guys that have only one truck or two, only 6, 7 guys. They'll do anything to get more. And they have no problem sharing their business with you either. Victor.
You know, it's funny because this past weekend I was in Miami, Florida for my anniversary with my girlfriend. And my girlfriend's best friend lives in Miami, which is one of the reasons we've been down there. But her boyfriend happens to have his own moving company. He does everything up and down the East Coast. So that would, you know, it's funny you mentioned that because we were talking a lot about that over the weekend. But at the same time, you know how I've been doing the Ignite in Spanish? So I've been meeting a lot of different agents from a lot of different states. And funny enough, one of the agents that was on the Ignite call from Miami, I happened to run into her on the street. So we actually started a small little conversation. She was like, that's a small world running into each other. But it was just great to be able to connect with a lot of my other counterparts in Florida, for that matter. And but it's nice to know, like, all right, I know somebody in Jersey, I know somebody in Florida, I know somebody in Georgia, anywhere down the way, anywhere anybody wants to go, you have the connection. You just you're 1 or 2 degrees away from being able to connect somebody with another person.
Exactly. Our job is to speak to as many people as possible. They shouldn't cut anybody out because, like Victor is saying, I mean, you have somebody's going to need something in Jersey or Miami. You need somebody's going to need an accountant or a mover, whatever it is. You should be the person that is able to provide immediately. Snap of a finger. Here's three of everything. Have at it. But you need to create that list. You need to create the database. You're not going to. I don't want you to create it by who I recommend. I don't want that. I want you to listen. If you get along with the same people I get along with, that's great. But I want you to hunt for these professionals on your own, the same way I did, the same way John Dibbs did. All of us have. It opens up the conversation. And I don't necessarily want to be all easy for you guys here because if we just give you everything, you're not going to really learn how to create something out of nothing. And ultimately, that's the goal of PC. My goal, with all due love and respect, is to see every single one of you get the hell out of my program. I don't want none of you here for longer than 3 months. I want you to learn how to generate business. I want you to learn to close said business. I want you to learn how to grow it after it's already gotten big enough. And that's it. You all need to become extremely efficient at real estate lead generation and management, especially now. It's not, and then, again, I know I repeat certain things often, but I really need this to be clear. It is not going to be easy moving forward. Many of you are part-time real estate agents, and I respect that. But it also means that it's very difficult for you to give the time necessary to build. And now with all the changes, with the competition, and just so much devastation in people's minds, we're done, the interest rates are too high, the prices are dropping, we're not going to sell. It will become much more difficult to obtain successful leads and business. I don't want any one of you to be the third buyer. I believe in every single person within my PC that you all can get the job done and grow. I also promise every single one of you, if I believe that one of you or some of you don't have what it takes to succeed here, I will tell you. Not because I have no faith in you, but because I don't want you to be in a point where you're going to go bankrupt. I've been there. It's not comfortable going to a trash can and pick up trash just so you can sell a couple of cents. I've been fucked. I don't want anybody else that's in those shoes. But nobody, as of today, that I am trying to coach, nobody, I believe, will not succeed. Every single one of you has something that I see that Marco saw or John Dibbs knows that you can push through. But stay consistent. Just stay consistent with what we are asking you to do. I am asking you to do. None of you need to be shy to reach out to me. None of you need to be wondering if I'm going to get pissed if you text me 5, 7, 18 times a day. I'm not gonna be. I may not answer all 18 text messages at once, but I'm gonna answer them. I'm happy when you're asking me questions. I'm happy when you're coming to me. And I promise I'm going to get better at organizing it all to make it easier for every single one of you to ask your questions. But it's not, it's at the end of the day, it's all just about one thing, and it's generating those damn leads. And I gotta do the same thing as you. And there are days that I don't want to, and I don't. I'm going to admit, I'm going to be fully transparent. I drop the ball and I just don't do shit. I just text few people here and that's it. I don't lead generate. Also, my business suffers because of it. So I'm basically doing the boot camp already. I'm doing it myself, and it's working. If I wasn't able to do it, if I didn't believe in it, if I didn't see the potential of it, I wouldn't be asking every single person at the PC to follow suit. But we've taken too long in certain cases to get it started. So I decided I'm going to restart it completely. As I mentioned at the beginning of this class, I am going class by class by class, hitting on all the aspects of what the bootcamp will ask you. Hopefully, I'm explaining it clearly enough and giving you enough material to work with. So when I do give the bootcamp to you again, you will know what to do. You have a very, very good and clear idea of what each of those days and steps represents. And then I will hold you accountable. and I know every single person that actually does the job of the boot camp, it's statistically impossible to have at least one deal a month. It's impossible. It just doesn't make sense. Does anybody here think that it's not going to be something achievable to speak to at least 10 people a day? Does anybody here think that's not gonna happen? And I mean random strangers. Whether you call them from Zillow, whether you call them from Craigslist, where you stop them in the middle of Walmart, Home Depot. Does anybody here have a problem with that? That's exactly what I want to hear. This time I want to hear that silence. Wonderful. Ah, it's kind of hot here. All right. Task. My coach is giving me tasks every single week. I don't like the tasks, but I'm learning that it's probably a good idea to give them to you guys as well. Task for next week, not this Saturday, but next Wednesday. And I'm randomly going to pick on one of you, or three of you, or five of you, or all of you. I'm not going to tell you. But the task is to start truly following the market you're in. If you're in Ozone Park, make sure you follow Ozone Park. Make sure you follow Woodhaven. Make sure you follow Richmond Hill. Make sure you follow Howard Beach. Check what's coming on the market. Go on MLS and see what became listed, what expired, what is in contract, what price drops are there. See how many apartments are available. Check the apartments. Apartments are going to indicate a lot of things for you guys. If the apartment prices are rising, more people are hunting, there's not enough apartments. If the apartments are sitting and just not renting at all, that's an indication of something else as well. Know what's available, know what's happening. Check the interest rates, follow the interest rates, follow the Fed, see what the Fed is doing. Get more familiar with the economy, get more familiar with what you're supposed to all know, which is homes. Know what's available. You're not necessarily going to become an expert by knowing what houses are for sale. That's not really the goal. The goal is that you know enough that if somebody asks you how much is a two-family home, one-family home, how much are rents, you spit it right back at them. You know immediately. You gotta know. It's going to make your life easier. It's also going to make it so much more comfortable for you to speak about selling real estate or buying real estate. You don't need to have all the knowledge, and I will probably say this at the end of every class. I am the knowledge. John Dips is the knowledge. All of us in the office that are producers, we are your knowledge. We're your bank of data and experience. Never be shy to admit that you have 1 month of experience, 1 hour of experience. All you got to do is make sure that the person you're talking to understands, Mr. Sir, I may be completely new and I have no idea what the hell idea of this is, but the good thing is that I'm the boots on the ground. The people behind me have combined 300 plus years of experience, and they are the ones doing the job that's going to get the house sold. I'm here just to make the connection. Howdy. When can we have an appointment? Just get it done. Don't be shy about it. Just it's easy. You think maybe easier said than done? After 10th, 15th, 20th time you say this damn line because you have no idea what the hell you're doing, trust me, you get comfortable. I did the same freaking thing. As a matter of fact, it became kind of a joke for me personally. I hope people are going to ask me what's my experience because I couldn't wait to spew the line. I ain't got none. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm here. I'm talking to you. I'm knocking on the doors. Do you see any of the experienced agents that have 30, 50, 70 closings a year? Walking down in rain, walking down in ice, knocking on doors, inviting people to an open house? I don't think so. I'm here though. If that doesn't show my dedication and energy to do what's right, to do the job that needs to be done, I don't know what will. All you guys got to do is actually do the job. There's the only caveat. Anybody has, before I do log this off, anybody has any obstacles, any questions, anything to add, any funny jokes to throw out there?
Yes, I do. You know how the housing market is changing. Do you think the rents are going to change too? Let's like what is a 2-bedroom going in Ozone Park right now? And do you think it'll Like in a
Good.
month or two? You think it'll change in a month or two?
No. Listen, the average two-bedroom apartment in Ozone Park right now is between $2,100 and $2,200. On
Okay.
top of it, most utilities are no longer included. That means you're not only paying for cooking gas and electric, now you're paying for the whole freaking thing. Will rents go up? The odds are they're going to go up, yes. Why? For multiple reasons. Number one, many of the people that were looking to buy houses were renting. They're coming back because they fell out of the game. Many of the first-time home buyers that had very limited resources to purchase a home now got completely curbsided. They're returning back to the renters market. Problem is, there's not enough apartments. There's not enough homes, period. There hasn't been for a long time. Now, landlords are obviously banking on it. Rents are increasing. Ozone Park, in January, February, the average price of a two-bedroom was about 1,900 to 1,950. In rare cases, I rented one for 2,000. Now it's 2,200 and even higher. That's an exponential increase in rent. Outside of New York, just to give you a quick example that's personal, I have an investment home in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Up to now, I've been renting for $1,350. My tenant just left. We did research. We spoke to my realtor. I'm able to rent it for about $15.50. Market rent again in January, February, March was about between 12 to 13. Is growing across the board. The rents will increase, which adds in a much higher value to your two-family homes, your three-family homes, so on and so on. The demand for those types of homes will be much higher, especially for first-time home buyers. Because if a person looking to buy their home for the first time with small down payment is now getting, technically speaking, curbsided by the interest in their monthly cost, yet a two-family home offering a two-bedroom or three-bedroom apartment to rent out can offset that cost by 40, 50%, if not more, well, that will be worth its weight in gold. Again, watch the market, wherever you guys live, make sure you know the area you live in. Check it out. What are the prices? How are they moving? What's selling faster? I showed you all, and it's recorded, how to do the stats and counts, how to check the statistics of the zip code, of the market. Follow it every single week, religiously. It only takes 3 minutes. It shouldn't be so hard to do. But if you know it, yet again, broken record Wesley today, you will be able to have a conversation with anybody, no matter your experience. No matter if you sold it and you've been in the business for 5 years, I don't care. But just know what you're talking about and be able to decipher the numbers. But rents, one other positive thing, Sherry, almost all of my landlords that I'm dealing with now, they're no longer giving me such a pushback after I explain a city theft or Section 8. Even the guy, I recently had a guy off-market listing over here next to the office, 3-bedroom. He did not want any housing subsidy. I spoke to him today for a third time, explained the vouchers. He's all for it. Vouchers are paying over market rent in Ozone Park especially. It's guaranteed money.
Hello?
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 Yes. Elizabeth. Okay. So anyway, don't be shy to have the conversation with landlords as well. Because if your market rent for 2-bedroom is 22, but a city tax is going to pay 23, up to 24 in some cases.
They're paying $2,418 for a 2-bedroom.
Thank you, Shanice.
You're welcome.
That's a huge increase over market rent. When you are working with buyers, make sure that, especially if they're looking for two-family or higher, first-time home buyers, or whatever the case may be, make sure you explain the benefits of the multiple opportunities there are to rent, from your market tenant to your voucher tenant to temporary housing to corporate housing, whatever it is. There are many different types of renters that you can bite into and help the future homeowner rent out their property, decreasing their overall payments, making their life easier. Again, another way to make the purchase more comfortable and not deter the new people getting into this market to buy. We gotta solve their problems to the best of our ability. I'm not saying work miracles, but we can try. Good question, by the way, Sharon.
Thank you. Just to piggyback on, the pushback that I got was that the owner did not want to fill out a W-9 form, the tax form. So now all the ones, so I guess they have to pay the tax on it, right? And the ones that are paying cash and non-voucher renters, the landlords don't pay tax on that income, correct?
That is absolutely correct, Sharon.
Oh.
There are landlords that would like to keep every single dime from Uncle Sam. Tell you what, though. Actually, Shanice, let me ask you a question because you're the professional in this department.
Yes, ask away.
So last time when I spoke to one of the managers of a shelter, this was, I believe, VA. City thefts in certain cases does not count as taxable income. Is that true or not?
So for all vouchers, except for I believe Section 8, they have to sign a W-9 form. If not, the package won't be complete.
Right. The only thing with that is that when this was discussed, I did discuss it with my CPA as well. Though you are getting income that is obviously for the property, it's going onto your overall generation of revenue, due to the fact that it is technically a housing provided to the city, by the city, quote unquote, you can either deduct the majority of that income or you do not get actually taxed on it. As a matter of fact, this is a good homework for most of us, if not all of us. Find an accountant, talk to them about it, and make a connection with some what do you call it? Managers of shelters. Give them a call. Make some connections. Make some leads. If you can get this on paper, that is going to eliminate the objection that Sherry is having. I don't want to pay Uncle Sam. Make sense? No, of course it
You
doesn't.
guys should really look into it because a lot, like, there's another program called Scree and Dree that's like for people who are disabled and people who are senior citizens. It freezes the rent, but the landlord towards the end of the year is a tax credit for them. They receive money. So you guys could look into that as well. Or just Google Homebase and they don't mind. They looking for, or call DHS, call 311. They're looking for a lot of real estate agents who has listings to move out these clients.
It's a good conversation to have. One way or another, we're going to deal with rentals, with the rental units and people looking for apartments. Know as much as you can about the different opportunities it represents to the landlords. So you don't have to have these conversations where somebody doesn't want it because they want to pay the taxes, for example. All right. So, unless anybody else has anything else, this is the invitation. If anybody has a question, ask a question.
I'm taking that webinar tomorrow on all the different programs that they have for down payment assistance and closing cost assistance as well. So I'll have a full report tomorrow.
I appreciate you, Victor, as always. And if that is all, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to bid you adieu. I need to have a cigarette. You guys have a good one. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Wesley.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Have a good
Shanice.
night.
Have a good night, Wes.
Take care.